So I just bought the DJI RS3 Mini for a wedding shoot that I have coming up. I film with a DJI RS3 for my job, and I thought this would do me personally just fine. However, setting it up on my Panasonic S5 Mark II X with a 16 to 28 millimeter lens and a half cage, this is even a full cage, it doesn't fit on this gimbal. It is too high, and with the extra height on the bottom of the camera, it isn't giving me enough space to move the camera around as I need it to get the balance right. So just straight off the bat, I don't think this is going to work for me. Doesn't seem to work with this camera setup. But I just wanted to get on here and just tell you guys that if you have a cage on your camera, this setup isn't going to work. It makes the camera too high and the top a little bit higher. And I imagine it'd be the same for, you know, I also work with a Sony A7 IV, and it is almost identical in shape and build as the Panasonic S5 Mark II. So, but I'm just going to see what the difference is if I use my S5 without the cage, and whether it works with that, just to make sure I'm not doing something wrong. So, there she is. Yeah, I got an SD card, so here you can see my room. It's really smooth, really lovely to handle. You know, I'd love this. I would love, and it's so tiny. And I'll be honest with you guys, this does feel lovely. You can get this gimbal on at really good prices. So if you're not going to be having a cage, this is the gimbal for you, right? Super lightweight. I couldn't believe how small this was when I first opened it. It is tiny compared to the RS4. Like, it is a big difference. So this is the setup with my S5. So now let me change to trying to set up with the S5 Mark II X with the cage on. Camera. So you see that this is really weighted towards me. So this axis, you see, I need to now, because it's fallen here, this axis should now move further out so that it's just the way you need to do it to balance. But yet, as I loosen that, there's no more space. So there's a tiny bit there, but it's still way too heavy. And even if I wanted to move this further out towards me, I can't because there's not enough space. So this is Michael of the future, and I wanted to show you guys an extendable arm that you can actually buy on Amazon for the RS3 Mini, which does fix this problem. It is an extra expense. I mean, we're talking an extra £36, not too much, but it does move you a little bit more closer to the price of the RS3. But with this extendable arm, you can now be able to use a camera with a cage, and it will fit just fine. Here it is on screen. You know, I'm showing this one by Newer, but there are other brands that do it. I even think Small Rig do one as well. And this is the cheapest one, I believe. And it extends the vertical arm that you see here, and it has a lower profile quick release plate, and you can even just put your, if you have a cage that has an Arca Swiss plate base, you can put it straight in, so everything will be lower. So this is an option if anyone really wanted to stick with the RS3 Mini and wanted to have a cage on their camera. This is an option for you. But I have gone for the RS3, got it with the follow focus kit and the extra arm, and I'm really happy with my purchase. I think the RS3, if you can afford the extra price, and you do want to use a cage, I'd recommend it. Just as someone who uses a gimbal on a weekly basis, I edit a lot of the time, but I do get to shoot probably about once a week, and having that axis lock is not a small thing, it is a huge thing. But only if you can afford it. If I couldn't afford it, if I couldn't afford the extra money, the RS3 Mini is absolutely fine, even for a professional context. If you are making social media content or web content, you know, you're just a, you know, an in-house video producer, you know, it's more than good enough, right? We're not filming for 10 hours in these things on a daily basis. You're filming content one day a week, and then the rest you're editing the stuff you film. So that's my recommendations, that just so you guys know, this is an option if you did have the RS3 Mini, or if you really wanted to get the RS3 Mini because you have found a fantastic price and you're willing to pay the extra £30, then I'd recommend going for that.